Okay, Libra, welcome to your monthly horoscope, Sidereal forecast for June 2015. My name is Athen. So let's go ahead and look at your chart. We've got a full moon taking place right on the 2nd, right at the beginning of the month here in your second house. So this is a culmination point of the past 6 months. It's also a culmination of the past couple weeks when we had the new moon right on the cusp between your 7th house and 8th house. Maybe things have been getting deeper with relationships. Maybe things have just been getting deeper in life in general. And so this is a time now at the beginning of the month to see very clearly what it is that you are, what's really important to you, because the second house is the material side of life. So over the past 6 months, if you've been working on anything with the finances or the material side of things, this can be a fruition, a culmination point of those things that maybe you've been working on. But it could also be in terms of this scorpionic 8th house kind of energy that you're dealing with. There's this deeper side of life that you've perhaps recently really been focusing on last month in May. And so now it's a culmination of both. And so you're seeing both what's important to you on the material side of things, and then also what's important to you on the deeper side of things, what goes beyond the material realm, the deeper connections, maybe with relationships, things of that nature, maybe with friends even, the sun ruling your 11th house, but probably with relationships too. I mean, Mars is also the ruler of your 7th house also, so it probably has a big part of that. How you're thinking too. You've been reflecting with this Mercury retrograde, you've been reflecting on the deeper side of life, what life truly means, how to spread truth, how to convey the truth, how to be honest, open, and transparent in your life with yourself and, again, with others. So the full moon is always a time of seeing both sides. It's illumination. Both the sun and moon are illuminated, and so you can see these areas very clearly. So it's really good for both of them. If you're going to set any intentions, it just helps you see very clearly, the material side of life and the deeper side of life as well. So that's kicking off the beginning of the month. But we do have also at the beginning your ruler changing sign here on the 4th. Venus is going into your 10th house. So there's this shift this month where maybe last month the emphasis was on the more expansive side of things, philosophy, travel, things of that nature. Now with Venus going into the 10th, it's all about the work, career, or anything on that public level. All in all, it's about building and constructing your sort of legacy, what you're leaving behind in this life, what you're giving and contributing. So that's going to be the shift very strongly. I think it's very strongly associated with these 8th house matters too, because Venus rules your 8th. So it's almost like these deeper things or whatever they are, these bonds, these connections, this truth that you're discovering is coming out into the open. Because the 10th house is the public, it's how the public sees us. It's our overall outward image, how society sees us. So here, the deeper elements are transformed and you are now visible in the light, which is a great thing. And so it's taking these deeper elements and perhaps implementing it into your work or into the public related side of things. But in either case, over the next few weeks with your ruler here, actually the rest of this whole month, you're going to have this enjoyment to be had and opportunities possibly with the career side of things, because you do have Jupiter here as well. Jupiter is going to be forming a nice aspect up to Uranus, which I'm going to talk about. So definitely this shift into the big picture career side of things. Then on the 11th, that Mercury goes station direct after a few weeks of his retrograde in your 8th. So this whole year, this whole month, it's like this steady sort of understanding. And one of the shifts in the understanding of things will certainly be that full moon, but also this Mercury going station direct. So whatever you've been, again, learning about the deeper emotional truth, transparent vulnerability, power, bonds, healthy connections, shared resources, all of these 8th house matters. Now, whatever you've been learning about that, it's the time to apply it. So with Mercury direct for the rest of this month from the 11th onward, apply it, put it into action. Because that's how Mercury operates. It's the day-to-day environment. Communicate it even too. Share it. Write it. And Mercury is the ruler of your 9th house. It's probably very spiritual, maybe philosophical in nature also. And connecting to yourself on that deep level. Getting plenty of alone time, for you to connect to these deeper elements is also important too. So that's going to be the shift in understanding. Lots of this understanding about the 8th house matters this month. Then on the 11th through the 18th, we've got the sun conjuncting up to Mars. This goes exact on the 14th in that 8th house. So you are very motivated by whatever this is, for you individually, this 8th house stuff. You're very driven by it, very motivated by it with Mars there. And now with the sun, when these two planets come together, it's focusing that energy. It's a focal point. It's like our focus is very sharp. We can initiate a lot of our conscious ideas, but conscious sort of ways of seeing things and perceptions and expressing yourself. This is perhaps relating to, friends or groups or network circles, like I was saying, because the sun rules your 11th. So conjuncting up to Mars means you can be very motivated by this stuff. Maybe getting involved with the community in some way, or giving, or, being of service, things of this nature. So, but in either case, it's very deep. It's very, very real and raw. Maybe it's sharing the truth, to the community or to your community, things like that. So utilizing that Mars and Sun can be very powerful if you harness it. And the way to harness it is to channel it in the most, equal middle path as possible, not going to any extremes with the over, aggression or just rashness with the Mars energy and burning ourselves out, not over expressing ourselves, but constructively utilizing that creative energy that is the sun in those matters that really matter. On the 12th, we've got Neptune going station direct. So it's a minor aspect here, but for the next 6 months, retrograde, station retrograde here for the next 6 months in your 5th house. I think you guys have been learning to go with the flow with your communications, well, your self-expression really, and it's creative. So your creativity, who you are, how you express yourself out into the world has perhaps been going through a sort of spiritual process of making sure you're going with the flow and things are all just kind of, you're trusting in the whole process. And so that's going to be a reflection period, I think, for the next 6 months with that. So reflecting on how you're expressing yourself, your creativity, things of that nature. Chiron goes retrograde on the 24th. And so, reflecting on those things for the next 6 months. You probably will notice a slight shift here, probably around mid-month, relating to the self-expression of just reworking it, rethinking about it, and maybe redoing some things that you are involved with on that creative level. Now, from the 15th through the 28th, so the second half of this month, we have a very nice aspect. We've got Uranus trining up to Jupiter. This is the third of this aspect. So it's been an ongoing theme since around September of last year, and then it happened again in March, and now this is the final culmination of it. So it's all about opportunities for you in the, again, career work sector, and it's been coming in through whatever these changes. There's been lots of changes with your routine, with your health, with your day-to-day environment, with your self-improvement, with helping others improve in your service. So all of that changing that's been happening is now supporting you once again towards whatever these opportunities are in this big picture stuff. And also relating to your communications, you're communicating perhaps on that public level in some way, whether it's through writing or teaching or sharing, things like that. And whatever this freedom is through the routine or through the day-to-day environment, again, another opportunity to bring that into whatever this 10th house stuff is that you've had the opportunity for. So very, very nice transit. You're going to be feeling that for the second half of this month. Very, very positive. Now on the 16th, we've got the new moon here. I'm going back up. We got this new moon in the 8th house once again. Now, the last new moon happened right here on the cusp between the 7th and the 8th, so it's very similar to the last new moon, but now this one is very much about the 8th house in particular. So that's what I'm saying with all of this learning about the deeper side of things and connections and all of this. Once again, there's some new beginnings, but this is a new beginning in a completely new way with insight and ideas and understandings that you didn't have before. And a motivation too, because this new moon is going to be conjuncting up to that Mars. So it could be new relationships also, because the new moon is conjuncting Mars, the ruler of your 7th. Can also be new beginnings with the financial side of things as well. Saturn here in your 2nd house has been making sure you've been very disciplined and hardworking with the financial side of things. So whatever that is, again, though, it's coming from, this root truth, raw transparency, seeing things for how they actually are. And that is now starting a new beginning for you in the 8th house of that part of your life. That can be very fulfilling, because the 8th house, when it's used in this way, is beyond the everyday material side of things. It's things that really matter in life. And we can look at life for what is really important to us, what we truly value on that deep level. So very nice there. Reflect around this time period is what we always want to do. And because it's conjuncting up to Mars, you'll probably be very motivated, I would imagine. And so if you are and you're taking action, usually the new moon's a time of reflection, but if you're taking action, just be malleable, be willing to adapt, make any changes, be adaptive. And in that way, once the lunar cycle starts to fill up, specifically around the 20th and onward, once the sun goes into your 9th, then the full moon or the moon will start to gain more of this fullness of energy, and then things will flow much more. So between the 16th and 20th, apply it, but, kind of be malleable with it. But from the 20th onward, things should certainly be, full steam ahead with that area of your life. Now on the 20th, like I said, so the sun's going to go into the 9th, and then on the 23rd, Mars follows. So there's this shift into the 9th house, which is always this transformative energy from the 8th to the 9th. It's like with all of this deep stuff, now, right after that new moon, you're really seeing the expansive possibilities. You're seeing the open horizons. Your horizons are opening and expanding. So you're seeing that. That's the sun. There's that conscious energy there. You've got Mars there, very motivated by it. Your relationships and financial things you're probably very optimistic about for one reason or another for you personally. So it's very nice. And this is going to lead into July, where you're going to have another new moon here in the 9th. Mars will still be there. The sun will be there for most of the month. And that's where it's really going to be centralized. But it's coming about from the 8th because this transformation is happening. It's now so this month, through the transformations, it's spawning into a lot of this expansive stuff that's around the corner for you in July. But it's a nice month, both months for you, it looks like. By the way, the sun likes to be at the top of the chart, which is really nice. Your Venus is actually, likes to be at the bottom of the chart, so that the public-related things, just take it nice and slow, take it nice and easy. But she's in a friendly sign there in Leo anyways. All right, let's go ahead and shift gears here. Actually, one thing about this Leo energy is actually this is not, I just realized this is not a friendly sign for Venus. This is actually an enemy sign of Venus. So I think your Venus, so here's the thing, is with your ruler at the top of the chart and in this Leo energy, just keep things nice and cool. Take things nice and slow and easy with this public stuff. Okay, because I think on one hand, there's a lot of this deep stuff going on, this 8th house, deeper matters, what life's truly about. And on this other hand, there's the career stuff, which you're having a lot of opportunities with from that Jupiter. But just keep it nice and easy, take it nice and slow, keep it balanced, because your Venus is in a position where she's not her strongest, your ruler, right now this month. Okay. But in July, that'll ease up a little bit when she comes down a little bit further. All right, so I just wanted to mention that. And then also, what's really nice, though, is that your ruler, Venus, is going to be conjuncting up to Jupiter here on the 1st of July, but you're going to be feeling this towards the end of June. So this conjunction here between these two planets is going to be very nice because it's your ruler, it's Jupiter. Jupiter's still going to be trining up to that Uranus, so very, very expansive. Lots of those opportunities. Again, they're relating to yourself, your goals, your career, all those matters that I talked about, especially with the career and self aspects from that 10th house. But very optimistic. I think you're going to be very optimistic by the end of this month, which is good. Channel that positively. Put it into constructive use, because Jupiter by himself doesn't really provide any real tangible results. We have to see those opportunities and actually walk through them. So make sure you're grounding these opportunities, especially the second half of this month. All right, Libra, well, I hope you guys have a nice month. If you have any questions, please let me know. If you're new to this form of astrology, do check out masteringthezodiac.com, or if you'd like a personal session, and I'll see you all next time. Take care.